Yo, yo, yo. What's up? My man, bro. What's up? My man, bro. Wait. Hallo, hallo, hört ihr mich? What's up? My man, bro. Wait. Hallo, hallo, hört ihr mich? Today's mission. What is the best? Ja, nee, okay. Okay. Live-Control. 30. Sehr gute Verbindung. Chat in einem Fenster öffnen. Okay, okay. Tonight. Tief. What the fuck, bro? What's up, guys? Welcome. Let me just adjust a few things before we start. What's up? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Welcome. Fitness. Oh, mint. What's up? What's up? What's up? Guess I would say I'm gonna start the ranking in about 5 minutes, 3 minutes, or maybe now. So the plan for today, I have my equipments right there. What do we have? We got some pretty good equipment right there. Also the quality, mostly from donation, but that's just because they take pretty good pictures. Like look at the parallettes. That's some high quality pictures, so you can really see it clear. That's my mission. That's what it's all about, if you know what I mean. I mean, like, yeah, pretty short live stream. I mean, like, what can we say? What is a good name for it? That's a question. Which one should I buy? Which one would I buy? I don't have everything. It's pretty weird if I'm going to rank calisthenics equipments that I don't even have. But it is what it is, you know what I mean? I'm a beginner in calisthenics, I can relate to that. It's also pretty not that famous, right? Did you start calisthenics because you didn't knew calisthenics was even there? Or did you start calisthenics because you just wanted to start, if you know what I mean? I mean, like, if I would knew that calisthenics exists, I would start it maybe like also before, you know what I mean? So, but no problem. I mean, like a beginner would also have some equipment, right? When I first started, I had like resistance bands, of course, pull-up bar, door frame pull-up bar, maybe some mats and some jump ropes, but that's really it. Yeah, I knew about it. Oh, really? Okay. But I can relate to that. Like to jump from calisthenics or to really get into calisthenics is also scary, definitely. So, yeah. S rank. How can I name it? What is a good name for it? Right? Do you know what I mean? What is a good name? Yeah, I knew it. My bad. S sounds so. It sounds. Okay, you know what? S, best. What do we have? What is after? What comes after A, right? A is good, I would say. I just thought the plant was cool, so I researched about it and came to know about calisthenics. Really? Like when I started with calisthenics, I didn't even know that planche was even a thing, right? So I just started with push-ups. And then when I really felt good about calisthenics and really wanted to start calisthenics, then I really got into calisthenics, if you know what I mean. Best, A good, B is, B as good, like, let's say okay, B okay, C, and then D. C is probably, what can I say about it? Like, how can we name it? Better question. I also don't want to call it worst, but the title says worst. So let me just put worst right there, but I'm not really going to rank anything worst because you know what I mean? Okay, worst. Or like bad, if you know what I mean. Bad. And best, good, or like amazing, you know what? Amazing sounds good. Amazing sounds good. Okay. Okay. Let me just best. Amazing, right? That sounds pretty good. Good. So we have S best, A amazing, B good, C okay, and D bad, if you know what I mean. C good if you have access to it, but don't specifically buy it. That's right. Okay, C good if you have access to it, but don't specifically buy it. Okay, that sounds pretty good. Yeah, you know what? Definitely, definitely. It's also like, for example, dip bars. No, not dip bars. I'm not saying dip bars are okay, but let's take, for example, dip bars. You know what I mean? If you have access to it, perfect. But really, do you want to buy dip bars for your own home? That's okay. That's good. So S best, A amazing, because A amazing, but is best better than amazing? Right? You know what I mean? Do you know what I tried to say? Is best better than amazing? Best, amazing, good, okay, or like bad. Bad sounds rude, if you know what I mean. Bad doesn't sound clean. D, not bad. Not bad. As best, amazing, and how can we like... How can we like good, or like as cool? Cool. D. S best, A amazing, B good, C okay. It's like a must buy. Yeah, okay, definitely, definitely. That's definitely right. C okay, I would say. Let's start. You know what? Let me just put bad, like bad, but I'm not going to rank anything that bad. So my experience with door frame pull-up bar, we are talking about these type of door frame pull-up bar, not this type of that. Oh, you know what? Let me just say everything, what everything is, right? So first of all, door frame pull-up bar. Then we got, I think they are called, what are they called? No use in buying weight vests when you can't do. Yeah, okay. That's also a good point, definitely. That's a very good point because we also have to consider if you are a beginner or a high level athlete, low level, oh, not like low level beginner, pro, if you know what I mean. So just let me just call them small parallettes, one way parallettes, if you know what I mean. Then we got liquid chalk. This is a pull up stance, right? So it's a thing that is just like a huge thing. Then we got dip bars, pretty average, low fit parallettes, rings, compression shirt. Guys, I have to put compression shirt in. I always like to train with compression shirt. Such a cool way to train. Ankle weights, static bar, high parallettes, wristbands, another door frame pull-up bar, but not the same as this one. Power wrist wraps, right? Ring ropes or like jump ropes, mats, straps, weight vest, resistance band, tank top, and chalk powder. I think I haven't missed one. If you got any more ideas, let me know. But I think probably everything, right? Or can you have more equipment than that? But I think it's good, right? I think it's good. Okay, let me start off with door frame pull-up bar. Pretty average. Everybody has a door frame. All right. It was my first equipment, to be honest. My first calisthenics specific equipment. I think I like I've used it for 3 years now, and it's such a, I would say, must have. In my opinion, a must have. So I have it like I think you can see it, right? Or you can't see it, but it's right there, okay? If you have the mats right there, it's next to the mats, and I've used it for more than 3 years now. Pretty good. Pretty good, right? I mean, like you can do, if you are a beginner, you can hang. That's what I did. I also first bought it, even though I couldn't do a pull up, right? So I actually bought it before I even was able to do a pull up. Hanging was pretty good for me. Negative pull ups, so eccentric pull ups, jumping pull ups. You just jump up to the top, hold this position right there, and you do something. I was literally spamming so many variations. You also have neutral grip. You can do wide, pretty much, not always. It also depends on your door frame. Neutral is supinated, that's what I did. Only problem, you can't see it. If you look at my door, right? On top, there are like two small, I think you can't see it, right? There are like two small wooden straps, wooden planks, what I like to call it, just to prevent some damage because it can, like after 3 years, it can hurt or it can damage your door frame. So it depends. But again, 30 euros is pretty cheap, right? Or am I wrong? In my opinion. So it still works after 3 years. Let me put it in S. But we can always change it, okay? So we can also like put it in B, A. But let me just first put it in S, okay? I think it's a pretty good spot there. Definitely legendary equipment. It has to be honored, right? So now parallettes. These are like this small parallettes. They are high quality. You have wood right there, steel right there. Only problem, and that is what I really don't like. They are, in comparison to Low Fit Pro, pretty unstable. What do you think is the best way to train a pull-up? I'm using bands and inverted rows. Is it good? I would say that is also pretty good. So when I first had a pull-up bar, I didn't really had any resistance bands. So I think I bought my first resistance bands after achieving my first pull-up. But if you already can do one pull-up, or like let's say 3 pull-ups, then definitely a great way to train it with resistance bands. But again, I first bought my resistance bands after my first pull-up. And before my first pull-up, right, I just spammed. What did I spam? Negative pull-ups, jumping pull-ups. I also didn't really had the option to train Australian rows. So inverted rows. Do you mean like Australian pull-ups or because like maybe Australian pull-ups? So in my so Australian pull-ups, bodyweight rows. Do you mean like bodyweight rows, right? Yeah. Definitely a great way. I'm using it now. It's such a cool way really to hit the lats, to really hit the back. But I just spam negative pull-ups, jumping pull-ups to achieve my first pull-up. After that, I think I jumped to many variations. I just spammed pull-ups with neutral grip, supinated, because I also had the option. I could train them. So that's what I did. Do you think they are worth it? The small ones? The ones are better for general cases, I believe. Yeah, definitely. So especially if you talk about these, right? Or like maybe like the most stable out of all of them are probably these right there. They are long, they're pretty low to the ground, and if you don't really train, I think these are more beginner friendly, right? Am I wrong? For exercises like L-sit, for exercises like, or like, not push-ups, but you can, these are more functional, if you know what I mean. You can get more variations, you can get more range of motion, you can get higher, more ways to train. in calisthenics. But again, if you really talk about skills, so like in my opinion, I'm currently now in my one-arm handstand journey, right? So I just focus on one-arm handstand. I really want to get better in one-arm handstand. So in my opinion, out of all these three parallettes, these would probably get number one, in my opinion. But again, more functional, definitely. These are probably the cheapest. So also very, very cool. Because like this whole equipment costs really much. So I also have sort of like this, pretty much like these parallettes. I just have, mine are just a bit taller, right? So maybe like 5 centimeters taller. But also beginner friendly, definitely. I would say these two, probably the most beginner friendly out of all the parallettes. Right, this is just the, if we really talk about skills. So let me put these, I would say amazing. Alright. I wouldn't really put it in S because I had a pretty bad relationship with parallettes, if I'm honest. So I have to put it in A, right? I had a pretty bad relationship, I'm not going to lie. It's always like my handstand on parallettes or like stuff like that was always nothing. My bad, guys. Didn't see anything. It was literally nothing in comparison. My handstand push-ups on ground were so much more better, so much more controlled, you know what I mean, than on parallettes. So I bought sort of like this, like these parallettes for 60 euros and I haven't used them. Now I'm definitely getting more used to parallettes, or now I'm just enjoying more training with parallettes. But again, if like maybe in 1 year I would put them definitely in S, but let me just put them in A right there. Liquid chalk. Liquid chalk. So when I first started with calisthenics, I didn't really had any chalk, right? So I also discovered liquid chalk, or like all this chalk, from bouldering, because I also had a time around last year, 15 years old birthday, like May, also this time, I started with bouldering. I was also really into bouldering. I wanted to get really good in bouldering and everything. So then I discovered liquid chalk, or chalk in general, right? And then I thought to myself, why don't I use it in exercises that I'm gonna do in calisthenics? So that is also pretty interesting. I didn't use liquid chalk or chalk in general for my calisthenics because I watched something on YouTube, like train with liquid chalk. I didn't even know that calisthenics athletes train with chalk, right? I just discovered it because I was bouldering. So you could say, like, if I now watch like calisthenics, everybody is using chalk, definitely. So I think it's also more, you also need to have, or you also need to be able, like especially for combos. So really like high level combos, definitely need it. What is bouldering? Is it a type of climbing? Yeah. I think bouldering is just, you use like sort of play rocks, right? Let me just bouldering, like these play rocks. You don't like climb high mountains and stuff. You just use like these, No, what happens to that? Like these play rocks, if you know what I mean. You can just put them up your wall, and there's like yeah, that's right. It's called like a kut. Maybe let me try it next stream without anything, right? But it's just like better if you want to get high quality streaming and stuff. But let me definitely try it next stream to like I can, you know. I have the option in OBS. Do you want to have sort of small gap? But definitely let me try it next stream, okay? I mean, like now I can't really switch it off or like switch it now, if you know what I mean. But there's a pretty big gap. Okay, so liquid chalk, I would say cool, right? You don't need it. And I'm also not training it with it the whole time, the whole day, or anything like that. It's cool. You can have it. You don't need to have it. But if we talk about higher stuff, definitely, you definitely need to have it. So let's say the first 2 years of calisthenics, you don't really need it. But after that, definitely important. If you know what I mean. I'm eating sort of like a pudding, right? Very nice. Wait, let me just... What is it called? Because as I said, most of the pictures are from Garnation, but only because they really have high quality pictures. Right there. Station. Pull up station. Right? I mean, like, I don't have a pull up station. But especially for people that have a garden or anything like that, you can build a pretty good calisthenics park with a pull-up station, right? So I wouldn't say they are useless, but only if you have a huge garden, right? Only if you have a really huge garden and really want to start with calisthenics seriously, because you can just go to the calisthenics park, if you know what I mean, and then do your pull-ups, right? But if you live in like a, what is it called? If you have no access to a calisthenics park, if you have a huge garden, then definitely worth buying. But if you live in a city, you don't even need to have a pull-up station. Need it if you have a pull-up bar, yeah. That's what I mean. So you could, if you have a huge garden, if you know what I mean. But again, if you can just have a pull-up bar walled up to your wall, because also Garnation sells one of these. And I also thought, or I also wanted to buy one of them, right? I wanted to put it up there, but I can't really do it. But again, I think like Brownie, if you know Brownie, right? He's also a pretty big calisthenics creator, very big. And his friend has such a beautiful wall with such a cool looking pull-up bar that he just mounted onto the wall. So beautiful. And like in an apartment, you know what I mean, but in a house, definitely. So let me just put this pull-up station okay, right? I think if you have access to it, definitely try it out. You can do many variations. You can do front lever on it. Probably you can do pull-ups, chin-ups, and everything. Let me just put it in okay. I think Brownie built him. Yeah, that's right. Brownie built his friend. Like, I think like Adrian, right? The shirt and the blue guy. This guy in a blue shirt. And he got such a cool looking pull-up bar on his wall that he just mounted there. Very, very nice. Also definitely want to, maybe in future. So now dip bars. I had dip bars. Not Garnation dip bars, but I had dip bars that you could variate the height, you know what I mean? You could put them up high, or like you what is it called? You could just adjust the height. You could adjust the height. And for me, if you first start with calisthenics, why not? You know what I mean? I mean, like, the only thing I did was dips, but why not? Adrian is Superman, definitely. He's such a. Those are like, they also did like this 25 hours of pull ups challenge, right? Or they spammed pull ups till they couldn't. Such a nice video, and Adrian definitely, Brownie definitely hustlers. True calisthenics athletes, what I like to call it. So dip bars, I would also put it in C, right? If you have if you have a calisthenics park near you, then I would definitely just go to the calisthenics park. But the problem, I also had a calisthenics park, right? So let's say the calisthenics park is 30 minutes away from me. Okay? And even though the calisthenics park was so near to my apartment, I still bought the bus. Guys, so juicy this up, wow. I also hesitated a lot when deciding which equipment I should buy, because as I said, the calisthenics park is 30 minutes away from me. Only problem, if it's winter or if you are a bit weaker, it was the case for me. When I was when I first was a beginner, I also was pretty shy, guys, when I trained at Calisthenics Park, or even to train in Calisthenics Park. But again, what I've learned, everybody's just there to make their body healthy, no shame. And I'm also planning to go more or to train more at the Calisthenics Park. Such a beautiful place to just meet the athletes, a nice atmosphere, if you know what I mean. So definitely. Yeah, definitely. I think the bars cost around 100 euros, and that is pretty expensive. So again, let me just put it in okay. I bought them, so I can't really put them in bad, because I didn't have it. Like, I hesitated, okay, but I still bought them, right? Even though I had the bars near me. But let me just put it okay. Now, the problem that we have right now, I want to buy these parallels, right? I want to buy low fit parallels. I think they're a pretty good investment, and I would definitely want to buy them. Only problem is, where should I rank these parallels, if you know what I mean? Because I never trained with them, and I don't know what they feel like, but I can't really put it also in A, right? Or like, if I would put them in S, that would be weird, because I don't even have these parallels, right? But what I've heard, what I've seen, these parallels are very, very good. Also, Gorletic, they also have similar parallels like this. Also long, low, and they are probably one of the best parallels out there. So let me just put it in A. Let me switch these two. Let me just put this right there. Because, guys, you know what I mean? That looks weird. Let me just put it right there. But again, I haven't really trained with them. I don't really have them. I don't even have them. So I can't put them in S. But if I would put them in B, then it would also be a bit weird, because I want to buy them, right? I want to have them. I want to buy them. Gymnastics rings, I've heard pretty good, or what I've heard is very good. Gymnastics ring must have. Gymnastic ring the best. But I don't even have gymnastics ring, right? I don't even train with them. But everybody tells me I should buy it. Everybody tells me gymnastics ring are the best. But Guys, I hesitate. I hesitate. I wanted to buy them Christmas this year, but I also decided to not because I hesitated, right? Are they so good? Everybody tells me they are good. Everybody tells me gymnastic ring king. Everybody tells me it. But is it true? That's what I ask you. So what I've heard, I would definitely put him in S because everybody just says gymnastic ring are king. But in my opinion, if you don't really focus on like Maltese or if you are like first of all, who uses gymnastic ring? Gymnastics. We also have I would say if you really focus on getting better at pull-ups, if you're getting better at push-ups and stuff, definitely them. Also, if you want to learn back lever, such a cool way and such an easy way to learn back lever, because I have done back lever on rings, um, and especially Maltese, planche. If you want to get good in those areas, definitely rings. Only problem, I don't really train all of them, right? I'm not focusing on pull-ups. I'm not really focusing on planche. I'm not really focusing on dips. I'm not really focusing on back lever. So they're basically pull-up dip. Yeah, yeah, that's what I mean. You know what I mean? You can get so much. Like they are so helpful for pull-ups, dips, and push-ups. Also back lever. So let me just put them in. I wouldn't really. I would put them right there. I would put them right there. You know, because I don't focus a lot on ring specific skills, if you know what I mean. But what I've heard is that everybody like, you know what I mean. So if I would put them in S, it would also be a bit weird, if you know what I mean. Because then I would say parallels. What my main focus is right now is more useless than rings, right? But you can also do handstand on rings. I've seen all these clips, handstand on rings, Maltese on rings, 30 meters above the ground. So crazy, insane. Compression shirt. It may sound weird, but I would put compression shirt in S. I would put them in S. It may sound weird, right? And it's just a shirt, first of all. But I love training with compression shirt. Not because I wanna show my muscles. Not like that, guys. But what I love about compression shirts so much is, and especially tank top. I have two Ganeshan tank tops, right? Calisthenics specific tank tops. And whenever I train with tank tops, t-shirts, it like what is it called? It like what is it called? It just like goes or like what can I say? It's pretty difficult to describe. But what I'm just trying to say and what my point is, compression shirt really fits. So it doesn't feel like it feels your own skin, you know? It feels like it's your own skin. Right? And if you train with tank tops, it always moves. Every time you train, it always like moves, if you know what I mean. So I love training without any shirt, without any tank tops and stuff. But if I'm outside, if I'm going out for a walk, I always like to wear compression shirts because they really fit, if you know what I mean. So that's probably the main focus. I don't use them to show my muscles, but it's just very comfortable, and it feels like your own skin. You know what I mean? And it's not baggy. You know what I mean? So like, it's pretty hard to describe, but my point is just very helpful if you want to train. But maybe are they better than? I mean, is that even calisthenics specific equipment, right? Could I rank it even as a calisthenics specific equipment? Yeah, okay, maybe not as, but let me just put him right there. Okay, I think compressions are so helpful for training calisthenics, for going out, for doing stuff. It fits, it looks good, it's really, really comfortable. But again, it's not really calisthenics specific. So let me just put it right there. Ankle weights. I also had ankle weights at a pretty young age. I think, yeah, okay. That's what I mean. I mean, are they even equipment? So, but I think it's a good spot, right? I think it's a good spot. I think it's a good spot. But you decide if you want to put it in B or C. Definitely, definitely, definitely. So like ankle weights, I also bought them with the Dolphin pull-up bar because it was just the same shop. So I bought them not in a combo or in a package or stuff like that. I bought them separate, but I just bought them at the same time. If you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. And the problem that I have with ankle weights or stuff like that is also in pull-ups because I only used them in pull-ups, right? I only used ankle weights in pull-ups back then, and this was it. You know what I mean? So my whole training didn't even consist out of ankle weights. If you know what I mean. Like let's say my whole workout split, pull-ups were, let's say, 20%. And when I also first started calisthenics, I was also pretty into jogging, right? Jogging, stretching. So it also counts as my workout split. And ankle weights were just like only 15%. And out of those pull-ups, I only did like 3 sets weighted pull-ups, right? I didn't even train weighted pull-ups that much. So the only time I use them is in weighted pull-ups. And weighted pull-ups only 5%, 2%. No, man. Should go below parallettes though. Yeah, they allow people with problems to train. Okay, yeah, that's definitely a good reason. It's the only reason so people can train. Like I've also noticed it because I was also switching from ground to parallettes lately, and it definitely helps. It definitely helps. I also had this weird wrist problem when I spammed handstand push-ups because I can show it to you right now. Oh no 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 no. Because I can show it to you right now. Right. So let me just. This is my new short, right? And it's just a handstand push-up on ground versus on parallettes. And I filmed it today. Guys, sorry. I filmed it today, right? And you can really see the difference. It definitely gets better now. But when I like last month, right, when I spammed handstand push-up, I was literally spamming handstand push-ups on ground. I had this here, right here. I don't know if it was the joint or like the what is it called? Yeah, just a joint or anything. But I had this weird problem, right? Then I switched to parallettes, and now it's definitely getting better. So plus point, parallettes. And I've also wait, let me just right there. And I've also definitely got better in handstand push-up on ground, even though I didn't even train for them, right? I only trained for parallettes. And second of all, handstand push-ups on parallel also like got better, if you know what I mean. So right there, right? And now on parallettes. These are my parallettes, a bit bigger than the Gonation ones. So this is the shot, right? And of course, my form your form always can get better, but I've also noticed it. I have like an arch back or like a pretty bad banana handstand push-up on parallettes right now, on parallettes, because it's new, you know? I filmed this short yesterday, and this was also the first time that I've achieved even handstand push-up on parallettes. So the first time, and then I just did like 2 handstand push-up. It also surprised me because I was only able to do the eccentric phase, right? Only the eccentric phase right here, eccentric. And then out of all of a sudden, I could do the concentric phase and two handstand push-ups. So very, very nice. This is the short. And yeah. Okay, so definitely right. I also have pretty similar parallels. You can see right there. Pretty similar. But what about ankle weights? What about ankle weights? I'm not really that consistent with ankle weights. I also bought, I can also show it to you guys. Sorry, my bad. Oh, my bad, guys. What's going on? I also had a video where guys, it's weird. I know, and look at me. It's weird. But I trained like Nathan Bozesh for 24 hours. He also commented, what did he say? He said, nice video, man. Wow. Yes. Now he's like Nathan Bozesh king. And I trained like him. And I also bought, only because of this video, right? I also bought ankle weights. Because he also likes to do, what he likes to do, morning activation, right? And then he just does his planche front lever with ankle weights. And therefore, I also bought ankle weights because he always does it in his video, right? And look at this back lever. Yeah, guys, not the best form. Oh wait, it was pretty alright. I also did a race. Race, ankle weights, 1 kg, a lot. 1 kg, especially for back lever, I would say pretty much. And this was also a pretty good method to train back lever, because after this video, I also stayed consistent with back lever for 2 months. I also trained back lever with ankle weights, but then I also stopped. So let me put it in, I would say right here, right? These are cool, you can have it if you train, especially back lever, planche, front lever, and you really want to get good in it, or you really like to spam pull-ups, weighted pull-ups, because there are people, and I also have friends that only spam pull-ups, so really consistent pull-ups, right? Also with weights. So definitely, I'll put it in B. And I'm also going to meet up with a friend. I think in 2 weeks we're going to have a very nice calisthenics day. He's also going to be training weighted pull-ups. He's told me always only weighted pull-ups. So there are people, and definitely more helpful for them. But again, I'm just more into handstand, if you know what I mean. Was geht, Nikos, Digga? Ich kann mich doch an deinen Namen erinnern, ne? So, static bar, let me just put static bar. I also hesitated, right? When I wanted to buy static bar, I had 2 things in mind. First of all, with this money, right? With this, like, that costs about 150 euros, right? I could buy a gym membership. And it was about winter. I didn't really have the option to train outside, to train at my calisthenics park, because I also have a static park right outside my doors. Literally, 5 minutes. I have a static park. The only problem, it's winter, and to train outside in winter is not enjoyable, if you know what I mean. So I had the option. Either I either I buy a gym membership or I buy a static bar. Reps daily, really. Think of this, I'm having great results. Yeah, definitely. I also was really into reps back then. When I first started, I always spammed pull-ups, always spammed push-ups, and again, it definitely helped me. The only problem, the only problem why I stopped is because I wasn't seeing results. So if I would have seen results, then I would definitely continue. Very, it's a great way, right? Um, so if I would have seen results, then I would definitely continue. But again, it was just, I'm not, what is it called? I don't have the reps body, if you know what I mean. My body is more enjoyable or more used to skills, if you know what I mean. But again, 1,000 reps daily, but that is pretty a lot, right? How long does it take you? How long does it take you? That would be pretty interesting because I'm training what about 2 hours daily, 2 rest days. That would be pretty interesting to see. But if you get a nice workout in and really see results, because that is probably the number one reason that keeps motivating me, right? Because if I don't really see progress, then it can get frustrating, if you know what I mean. But that would be pretty interesting. I believe red is pretty important in calisthenics. Yeah, okay, that's right. But tank top? Because in my opinion, I would put tank top lower than compression shirt, right? I gained 1.5 inches on my arms and 2 on my legs, chest, like weeks after starting. It's weird, but I also eat. Ooh. Okay, you must be huge. That's why your name is Gorilla Guy. But guys, gorilla, probably one of my favorite animals. Fun fact: I saw this interview with the CEO of Ganation, and Ganation stands for Gorilla Nation. I didn't know that. Ganation. I just thought Ganation is a normal brand, normal calisthenics brand, but Ganation actually stands for Gorilla Nation. And there's also Goletic. I think Goletic also stands for Gornation, like, or Gorilla Letic. Gorilla Letic? Gorletic? Gorilla Letic, maybe? But Gornation stands for Gorilla Nation. Such a fun fact, right? Yeah, I'm not huge. Really? But 4K calories is. I mean, like. I would say maybe you say you are not huge, but then you are like Andreev Smaev. You know what I mean, right? Andreev Smaev, because that's a huge dude. That's a huge dude. Or maybe you have a fast metabolism, right? When I was also pretty skinny, I also ate a lot. I also ate a lot, but I was still pretty skinny, I would say, right? But the real question is, can you take on a 100 man? Elias versus 100 man, maybe. Now I'm just joking. But again, Gorilla versus 100 man, who wins? Guys, you decide. It's like, it's gotten up to a point where this debate is a political debate, if you know what I mean. Like, it's literally a political debate, if you know what I mean. So, like, if you say something, let's say you say Gorilla wins, right? Then everybody hates on you. Let's say 100 man wins, then also everybody says something, right? But it's a funny, I also see this TikToks a lot. So it's a pretty funny debate, pretty funny topic actually. But I would like to see it. I mean, not in real life, but if somebody just like creates a mod, creates an 3D animation, I would definitely. Let's be honest, 100 rank could take me out. Okay. I would. I mean, again, gorillas, my favorite animals, but I also have to go with 100 men. I would also have to go with 100 men. I mean, gorilla, my favorite animals. But as I said, I also have to go with 100 men because a gorilla also doesn't have like unlimited stamina, right? And a fully grown silverback, biggest of the big, 520 pounds, right? They are huge and they would definitely beat the first 20 with, or like the first 15 with ease. I would also say 100 men wouldn't know this, yeah. I mean, like, he would, like, destroy the first 20, but I would say more than 50% of men would survive, in my opinion. Right? I would say more than 50% would survive of men. Static bar. So, what my point was, either I buy a gym membership or I buy a static bar. And why I decided to buy a static bar is only because I was really into back lever. This was the main reason, right? So I had a pretty sad relation, or pretty bad relationship with back lever. I was always weak. I trained for it for a year straight, but I couldn't even do full back lever, and it also frustrated me in some areas, if you know what I mean. And then I just said to myself, okay, now I'm going to put everything. Now I'm going to put my whole body, my whole mindset into learning back lever because I want to get back lever so bad. If it's a battle of pure or strength, then it does stand a chance, yeah. But if you can use the environment, then you ain't beating 100 men. Yeah, okay, that's definitely. Well, in the 2020 box, men win. But again, it also depends, as you guys said, environment, where do we fight, do we have clothes on, what do we eat before that, did we have sleep, and stuff like that. So many factors, so many factors. Even though the first couple, that's what I mean. The first few doesn't have even like stand a chance, right? He will just like one shot everybody. But after that, you know, does the gorilla have so much stamina, so much strength to like destroy 100 men? 20? I would say, in my opinion, 20 men, or like, let's say 30 men. 30 men versus one gorilla, I would say gorilla wins. I would say gorilla wins. Like, first of all, first 15, easy. Then the other 15, I would also say gorilla wins. But at 100 men, it can get pretty interesting. It can get pretty difficult. But how would gorilla beat a legal firearm though? A legal firearm though? Yeah, okay. Like, if you mean like weapon, pistol, right? If that's what you mean, because I think a legal firearm is like a pistol, right? Or am I wrong? Am I stupid right now? Yeah, if you use weapons, if somebody just has what is it called? Knife implanted in his body or something like that. If he has like futuristic hands that can shoot bullets or something like that, then it also depends. Tranquilizers and stuff. Tranquilizers, what is that? Guys, I have to look it up. I have to look it up, guys. I'm sorry. I have to look it up. Tranquilizers. What is it spelled? Even the knife, pretty good. That's what I mean. Because I don't know if you watch Kengan Ashura. It's an anime. And it was this doctor. He had a knife implanted in his body. Like, what? Such a tranquilizers. What is that? Oh, tranquilizers, yeah. So, I definitely know what you're meaning. I definitely get what you're saying. Wait, 3,500? So again, it really, really depends. Because even just a rock could do so much more damage than a hand, right? A fist, right? In my opinion, even like a rock that is the same size as our hands, in my opinion, it would deal more damage than a fist, right? And if we are talking about like in his environment, like mountains, stuff, he can't use rocks, right? Or have you seen a gorilla use rocks? Do they use rocks? Well, maybe I'm going to do a video about it. 100 calisthenics athletes versus one gorilla. Not a battle till death, but a battle, calisthenics battle. That is also a pretty good question, right? A calisthenics battle. Who could hang more? Who could do more pull-ups? Who could bench press more? Who could like have more power in their grips? You know what I mean? Try to punch it. Yeah, okay, definitely, yeah. That's what I mean. Like, how could you damage a gorilla, right? How could one man damage a gorilla? One man, just one man. It can't. So, thick skin, thick neck, nothing. But again, 100 men would definitely win, right? Because at some point, the gorilla would just like kill himself. You know what I mean? He would be too exhausted. He would be too, if you know what I mean. So slowly turning into a debate, then a ranking video. Haven't moved in the ranking in like 10 minutes. Okay, that's right. That's what I mean. So static part, I would also put them. I would put it right here. I would put it above the parrots. Because even though I don't really use back lever that much, it was still a very good investment, because only because of the static bar I was able to achieve back lever. I was able to get just better, right? So I will put it right there. Now high parallettes, right there, easy, nothing special, easy, just right there, because out of all these parallettes, in my opinion, in my state now, in my strength, these are the worst. But if you are a beginner, if you just want to learn, or you want to learn handstand, you want to get better in handstand, you want to train everywhere and stuff, I would definitely put them higher than the others. But again, in my state, I would put them right there. Very interesting now, wristbands. And fun fact, I have tried every wristband. I've tried these wristbands, I've tried these power wrist wraps, and these wristbands. So I've tried everything. Out of all three, I could say these are the best. And it may sound weird to you, but I haven't trained one single day without them, right? For 1 year. So, do you agree? Do you agree? Guys, I want to hear your opinions. Do you agree? I haven't trained one single day without them. For 1 year now, right? Every single day, there was not even one single day where I haven't trained without them. So I have to put them in S, right? I have to put them in S. I have to. Guys, I'm sorry. But it's just it was too important. It was too good for me. So now, what is that? These are dolphin pull-up bars. I also trained, or like I also bought them before I even bought the dolphin pull-up bars. Because you really have to think, okay? This like store is called Intersport, right? and you got two examples. You either had Dolphin pull-up bar or this Dolphin pull-up bar. And I looked at the price, right? I saw 15 euros, 35 euros. So first of all, I bought those. But when I tried it on my door frame pull-up bar, first of all, it couldn't really hold me. I was destroying my door frame, and it was such a false or such a wrong buy that I made, such a wrong decision to even buy them. Then I just put them away, or like I restored them, right? I got my money back. But I have a friend, and he also has them, and they work for him, definitely. So his door frame doesn't get damaged. He can hang, so it doesn't like move an inch. Only problem with my door frame, or like with my situation back then, it was such a wrong decision. So it really depends. It really depends where you live, what your door frame is, and how strong your overall apartment is. But if you talk about my state, I would put them in like even D, right? I would put them even in. Let me put them right there, okay? Let me just put them right there. But again, if you are a beginner, if you have a really strong door frame, definitely around A, right? So now wrist straps. These were my first, actually. And what is the difference between them? So what I use them for is just to, first of all, like, I don't really know how they really work, but what I've heard or what I've seen is they put pressure on your wrist, and it doesn't allow your wrist to go full of range of motion, if you know what I mean. So if you put like pressure on your wrist, right, you can't really move it that much, like, see, like, if you know what I mean. So if you put pressure on your wrist, it just limits the range of motion, and therefore it helps you, or it prevents your wrist from injury. And I've tried them. And these two right there, these two on the bottoms, these power wrist straps and these straps, the problem with those two, they just put too much pressure on it, right? And you can't even move anything. So if you use them in handstand, you could not even go into handstand because your wrist was like this. You couldn't even go like this, right? You were like this. And especially with those, where my mouse points at right now, you had a strap. You had a strap, right? And they, so many times where they just got loose. Where they just, like, it's really hard to describe, but why I'm putting these wristbands so high is, first of all, they have really good pressure, right? So just the exact amount that you want to have. Second of all, they don't like go up and down. They don't go up and down. They stay in one position, and they feel like you're Daniel Christoph, if you know what I mean. So, I mean, definitely yes, in my opinion. In my opinion, definitely yes. But again, these two, I would put them a bit lower, if you know what I mean. Because, again, they limit your range of motion so much. And it was just so frustrating to me back then. So I couldn't train handstand with them. Alright? With these wristbands, with these wrist straps, I couldn't even train handstand. So let me put these in. I mean, I have to put it in B, right? Because even though I think they aren't good, they are better than nothing, right? And I wouldn't train without any wrist straps, so I definitely would buy one. But it also depends, because I think I haven't really trained without wrist straps 2 years like now, So even though they were bad, in my opinion, I still trained with them. And I still, like, progressed, if you know what I mean. And they're just better than anything. But in comparison to these wristbands, to S wristbands, nothing. So I think it's a pretty good spot to put them there. They have to be honored because I also achieved my first handstand push-up with them. No, wait. No, no, no. Um, my first handstand push-up was in Taiwan, right? I remember it like it was yesterday. But did I achieve it with these wrist straps? That is the question. Where was Taiwan? Hello. Because I have it right there. I also made a calisthenics equipment back then. It was 1 year ago. See? So these are mine, right? These are mine. I also have these Daniel Christoph limited edition right here and right here. So I have all of them, right? Just to prove. But did I achieve my first handstand push-up? I want to show you guys. Because can you see it? That's the question. That's the main question. So I mean, it's an edited clip, right? So right here. Right? Do you see it? This was my first handstand push-up that I achieved. And I didn't even had any wrist straps on. So it's hard to describe if you know what I mean. But again, just in comparison, out of all these three, they get probably in second place, but better than nothing. So let me just put them. I think it's pretty fair, pretty good ranking, because again, out of all these three, these. Oh wait, nah, ankle weights are better than these. I would put them right there. I think that's fair, right? Can you see it? Yeah, you can see it. So now jumping ropes. Only problem, I don't even have jumping ropes. But I've also learned and I've also seen many high-level athletes use them to warm up, to get better at cardio and stuff. Because you also need high levels of cardio to perform crazy stuff. I also want to buy them. I also want to buy a pair of jumping ropes, but it's just when, if you know what I mean. When is the right time to buy jumping ropes? So I have to put him in. I mean, I can't. I have to put him right here, right? Or maybe like this. Because I haven't really trained with jumping ropes. They are a great way to warm up. They are such a great way to get better at cardio. But when I'm not currently training with them and you know what I mean? Right. Is that a good spot? Or do I have to put it in B? Because again, I've heard only good from jumping ropes, no? I never really heard anybody say, yeah, jumping ropes, don't buy them. I have to put it in C. Right? Or maybe let me put it right there. Nah. Like even though I haven't really trained with them, I did also try jumping ropes a few times. And when I tried it, it felt pretty good. You know what, like this. So, training mat. It may sound weird, right? And just sup bro, good stuff. Thanks, brother. So training mats. The interesting part about training mats, it may sound weird again, but I also think training mats are essential. Right? Do you agree? Now it may sound weird, like like training mats. You know what I mean? Yeah, they're just training mats. But the reason why I love training mats so much is because if you are a beginner, you can do so many things in training mats, if you know what I mean. Your workout will get so much better if you use like mats, for example, for planks, or high knee raises, right, on ground. Only because you have a small or a flat or a bouncy, a what is it called? A nice, comfortable surface, you will have so much more stuff you can do. Because I had a training mat, I could do leg raises, I could do knee raises, I could do planks and stuff. If you know what I mean? So it may sound weird, but I also think training mats get pretty high, right? Do you agree? Because it may sound weird, and it sounds weird. I totally get that, right? But in my opinion, you get so much more variations. You can do so much more exercise only because you have a good surface. Or does it sound weird? In my opinion, I would put them in. I would put them pretty high. I would put them right there. I would put them right there. Guys, sorry if I'm like, you know, it sounds weird, but they were so helpful. They helped me so much in so many ways to lose weight, to get stronger, to get really into fitness, to enjoy fitness more. So I also do my warm up only on mats. I don't know if you know it, but there's a wrist warm up where you put your wrist like this on a surface, right? And then you just press. Then you just press. And I've also tried it many times on ground, and I couldn't really do the same quality. I couldn't do it with the same energy than I would do it on mats. So also because I had a good surface, I can do a pretty high and good high quality wrist warm up, if you know what I mean. So only because you have a good surface gives you so much more benefits, if you know what I mean. So I would put them in A. Weight vest. Guys, you know me. First of all, I don't have a weight vest. I'm also maybe buying a weight vest. But if you really are into pull-ups, push-ups, then definitely must have. But for me, in my current state, I would put them. I don't really train with, like, you know what I mean? Lots of benefits. Yeah, yeah. So I think like my mat only costs. There are mats that cost about like $15, 15 euros, right? 15, 10. I think my mat is a bit more expensive, but you can get them pretty cheap. You can also, instead of using a mat, use a towel or stuff like that. But a training mat definitely helps. So weight vest. It's hard. It's really difficult. YouTube is blocking my comments. Really? Wait, why? Really? Okay. YouTube is blocking my comments. Do you mean like chat comments? So what you're writing right now? Or like video comments? But like again, weight vest. I think I also have to. Okay. It has to be done. It has to be done, guys. It has to be done. It has to be done. I mean, like, now I thought about it. I can't put weight vest and jumping rope higher than dip bars and pull-up station, right? Let me just put it right there, right? Because first of all, dip bars. Like I trained with dip bars a lot, and they also helped me. And I didn't train with weight vest. I didn't train with jumping ropes. I didn't train with pull-up station, so I can't put them higher than them, right? Here in chat, Sandy mentioned about your checking DMs on TikTok, and it got blocked for some reason. Really? Send a message about you checking DMs on TikTok. You can check off stream. Definitely, I will check it. Okay? Because I also uploaded my short that I showed you guys on TikTok. I'm going to upload it on YouTube. I always upload my shorts about 8 p.m. around 8 p.m. I think it's a pretty good time for YouTube shorts, and TikTok just usual time 2 p.m., 1 p.m. Resistance bands. I would put resistance bands pretty high. Pretty high. They help me in so many ways. And we are talking about every resistance bands, right? If we talked about like 30 kg resistance bands, then I would put it in bad. Like I've never really done anything crazy with 30 kg resistance bands, but every resistance band that has ever existed, where should I put it in? Right there or right there? Right there or right there? You know what? Okay, we are going to do a generator. Zufalls generator. 1 or 2. 1 right there. 2 right there. Right? Okay? Okay. Resistance bands. The best equipment out of everything. Do you agree, guys? Do you agree? Tank top. As I said, I don't really like training with tank top more than compression shirt, right? If you really talk about these two, only these two, then I would definitely put tank top below compression shirt, but it's not bad. It's definitely better than training like with this, if you know what I mean. Where should I put it at? I'll put it right here. Wait, let me switch something. Let me put it right there. Let me put it right there. I think that's a pretty good spot for tank top, right? I mean, liquid chalk, also, I can't really put it below ankle weights. I've used liquid chalk more, and it definitely helped me in so many more things. Right there. I think that's pretty good. But I also ranked compression shirt pretty high, right? Like an A? Chalk powder, what can I say? If you don't boulder, then it's pretty useless for calisthenics, not gonna lie. Pretty useless for... Not pretty useless, but... Do you see calisthenics athletes really consistently training with chalk powder more than liquid chalk? I haven't really trained with liquid chalk, with chalk powder, so... I'm gonna put it in... Because it's definitely more beneficial than not using liquid chalk or not using chalk powder at all. But I have to put it right here. Now the real question is, what do we have to switch, right? What is wrong? What is right? I think S sounds good, right? I think that's good. So S is complete, right? S is complete. Let's A. I think that's good. Good. Or should I put compression shirt below? I mean, I could do this, and I could do here, right? Does it look good? Yeah, I think that's good. So, in my opinion, A complete. In my opinion, A complete. Now B. Parallels, wristbands, liquid chalk, compression shirt, ankle weights, bam, bam, complete. And with that, we don't put anything in B, D, because like, it depends on your environment, it depends on your strength, so I can't really put anything in D, but I think that's it. And there you have it. The ultimate calisthenics tier list. Guys, I've also made a video about exercises. Just small, if you want to watch it. It wasn't bad, if you know what I mean. It wasn't bad. Right here. The ultimate calisthenics tier list. If you want to watch it, guys, definitely check it out. It was pretty cool. Also pretty fun to make. And I love making tier list videos. It's very nice. It's for free. can I upload it? Maybe I'm going to upload it, guys, and then you can make your own tier list with all these equipments right there. But I would say it is great. I would also add dip belt to dip belt. Yeah, okay, forgot that. But that is weighted calisthenics street lifting. Yeah, but I should have added weight belt, dip belt. I should have added that. You're right. You're right. I forgot about it. Because when I had my gym membership, I also trained regularly with the belts. Guys, fun fact, let me just put it up. Fun fact, my first YouTube short is weighted pull-ups, right? Yeah. Here, right there. You see? I do chin-ups with, I mean, but dip belt and weighted belt are the same, right? So, my first YouTube short was weighted pull-ups. Yeah, okay. But weighted calisthenics, street lifting. But I think I'm either going to buy a weight vest or a dip belt, right? Because more ankle weights or more, yeah, ankle weights wouldn't be that helpful. So either a weight vest or a street lifting belt. But yeah, that's really it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I would say that's it for today. Pretty nice. When will the next stream be? So I'm planning on, maybe I'm going to do a little co-op stream, guys. Maybe I'm going to do a little co-op stream. Maybe I'm going to put another calisthenics athlete right here, or like on my screen, so not in person, but you know what I mean? Maybe a little co-op stream. We're going to talk about some calisthenics facts and stuff, so could be. Or I'm going to do another Q&A stream, another mission stream, because my last stream was about finding out how many people can planche. Also, a new video will drop, I think like in 2 days, right? But yeah. But 2 streams a week, that's my goal. That's the goal that I want to have. 2 streams a week, about 90 minutes long. This is I want to definitely be consistent in streaming because it's fun. It's easy to set up. You know, I only searched up some pictures and stuff, and it's really, really fun. The last 2 streams were also pretty nice. So thanks to everyone, guys. And now my favorite intro. Enjoy the day. It's currently 3 p.m. Make the best out of your day now. I'm also going to meet up with my brother. We're going to eat. Or like, not meet up, but he will come, you know what I mean? We're going to have a nice meal, train afterwards, have a nice pull day, and that's really it, guys, okay? I would say, now click on right there, and then I have to question another, you know what I mean? Shame there is a sub-requirement, yeah. Guys, I would say that's it. Yeah, okay. Guys, see you soon. See you next stream, guys. New video will drop next week. I think on Monday or on Tuesday. Let's see how it goes. If you know what I mean. Let me put it right there. And now for my favorite part. Well, not my favorite part, but the awkward part. Now I have to stay in this position for 5 seconds. And yeah.